welcome to yet another DuskBreakers AMA. My name is Bernie Sue, and I am joined today by my colleagues Jason and Joshi up here on stage. I've invited Sal Piggy up, but she may not come up because she's not replying. That's okay. We love her anyway. Let's go. Let's just get into it. I'm going to throw it to my co-host Joshi and kick us off, Joshi.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Joshi, the community lead for DuskBreakers. I think it's fine to reintroduce ourselves every once in a while, as we only do these AMAs every so often. Might have some new people listening here live or on YouTube. So, I'm Joshi. I'm the one that's on Discord every single day trying to poke you guys into talking to me about video games and crypto news and all that. But we have the AMA scheduled today. We invited Kabunbun of Acad Arena. Unfortunately, started that conversation kind of Tuesday morning. I believe he may be in Southeast Asia at the moment, and that would be very early in the morning, Friday morning for him right now. So it's very possible that he either overslept or we just missed a communication or something. But if Kabunbun or Acad Arena don't show up today, we still do have some stuff to talk about. And of course, that does give more time for all of you listening live to ask your questions as well. We did get some interest recently about hosting an AMA at like an earlier time. Bernie, myself, and Jason are all Pacific time zone, which is kind of the worst internationally for actually communicating things. But it is possible we could do like a 10 a.m. Pacific or something to try and reach more international live listeners. Might be worth a shot sometime in the future. If those guys don't show up, Jason, myself, and Bernie do have some things to talk about since the previous AMA. A few weeks ago, I was sick and out of state. Now I'm back home and happy to be back, with two monitors instead of just my phone. But we had the Payday Cinematic, was brand new at the time. It has gotten some circulation now. People have made some guesses at the dialogue and what it means. And if you haven't seen the Payday Cinematic, it is pinned to our Twitter right now, so you can check that out. Also our YouTube. If you have not ever been to our YouTube, we are DuskBreakers officially on YouTube as well. We got the URL and everything, so youtube.com/DuskBreakers there. We do also have Instagram, TikTok, and etc. Facebook even, if you're feeling like venturing into those waters. But we're going to try to start posting multimedia a lot more everywhere, see what sticks. We don't know exactly where our audience is yet, but obviously we will be using those known avenues and trying to hook more people from all these other new places as well. Thankfully, we do have some help in that department. If any of you saw the sort of small sizzle reel or commercial, it was kind of our first time doing something like that earlier this week. Now we have more capability, testing a few more things, different types of multimedia where, Bernie, Jason, and myself might have some skills with Premiere or Photoshop, but now having someone dedicated to it is definitely going to help us crank out a bunch of material that we've thought up but haven't been able to produce professionally in the past. So still hiring bunches of people as well, not just, in marketing and multimedia, but lots of engineers and things. You can find all the careers still on the website at any time. That's just basic housekeeping stuff. I do see we got some more listeners in here while I was rambling. So on to any new stuff. I suppose the webcomic is something that has changed since last we spoke. We were aiming for every Thursday. Unfortunately, have been missing that target. Bernie, I don't want to set you up for that, but
I have something. We're Webcomic 5 is due to come out today. Gears just messaged me actually like it'll be done very shortly, so you're not going to have it for the AMA, so we don't have to spoil it like we did last time. For some of you who were spoiled while the AMA reading the comic, so you should. It's imminent. I'll just say that. I don't want to lock us into a specific time drop of it, but Webcomic 5 is coming. And then I will kind of hook that into the ongoing contest that we are doing right now, the active contest, which is the Madlibs to contest which is pinned onto this Spaces. Just click on that, where you are going to, those of your holders are submitting a breaker that you hold to be canonized and become the rival of Jolie, the main character of the comic, in the back half of her arc in this comic book run. So pretty exciting, and it's a free contest. You have a breaker, go ahead and submit a breaker you have. If you don't have a breaker, we have a breaker for you to list as a submission, and the person who wins the contest also gets that breaker, whether you own a breaker or not. So pretty cool, and it also encourages you to be a little creative with it. You get to name your breaker, you get to give some history of your breaker, you get to define the gender of your breaker. So there's a lot of things you get to do here. It's kind of one of the first early pieces of our grand plans of building audience into narrative, audience into franchises, as we build the story world of DuskBreakers, getting you all involved, those of you who are holding breakers, and trying to get more people to hold breakers, of course. So please hop on a Discord, click on through the submission, and do it. It's free. You can submit multiple times with different breakers, of course. And what the process is going to be is, I think it ends tomorrow at some point, which Josh, you will verify in a second. But once that happens, we will go through as a team and pick our 3 to 5 finalists and put those together, and hopefully then after, when we have the finalists presentable to you all, we will then let you vote for the winner. So just a little vetting on our side to make sure that names are kosher and there's no anything that trips something or something else, whatever reasons and all that good stuff. But yeah, so free contest for you to go right now. It's may not have the classic, here's a big prize or here's a bunch of whitelist spots, which I think they're whitelist spots anyway. But the prizes, I mean, I biased because I've designed it, but I think it's pretty valuable. You're going to be your breaker is going to be the villain, or the adversary, not really villain, the adversary to Jolie in her story. So go for it. I'm actually really excited to get in here and get you guys in there. And it's funny where Gears was messaging me earlier, and we were like, he was like, hey, when does the winner of the contest come in? And it's like, I'm like, Comic 7, so you have some time. So once the winner happens, we have to, Gears us to draw them into the comics. That'll be a fun little challenge too. So anyway, Joshy, clear up some more details there.
Yeah. So for those who've been around for a long time, we've started kind of doing tons of community events back in January. It's been kind of one after another. Really only, one weekend at a time without something. So this is our second iteration of the Breaking Madlibs sort of contest that we've done once before. And something interesting, actually, while we're talking about it, is that you could continue to submit the same breaker for these stories and build your own sort of canon, fan canon. In case you ever do actually get, officially entered into the story, you've got, multiple transcripts of talking to the captain in the previous contest or talking to Jolie in this one that you can kind of build around as well. So that's kind of interesting. If you've got like a single DuskBreaker NFT or a favorite one, you can start to flesh out just through these contests. This one, as Bernie said, is not a full raffle like the previous ones, simply because we do want to add it to the official story. So the little bit of vetting really is kind of just like a stack rank system between myself, Jason, Bernie, other writers on the team. Anyone who has a vested interest in the outcome of how the story is going and stuff like that. So put in effort, and you will be rewarded. We'll definitely make sure the better entries get recognized. That ends tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. So that's about 21 hours from right now on our Discord, discord.gg/DuskBreakers. If you hear this in time, it only takes like 2 minutes. You go fill out a form. There's a link to woofu.com, which is really just a bunch of forms we paid for a year. So there probably will be future contests with that same setup. It's pretty nice for us to be able to track everybody. You can submit your wallet and your email, etc. So it's a nice way for us to stay in touch. Basically go enter. It's easy and free, and you have a chance to win not one, but 2 different NFTs, as there is a Twitter component as well. no downside, and just, tossing out the retweet, hope you win, and then more people find out about our cool project we got going on. So that contest will be ending submissions tomorrow, as I mentioned, but we'll have another phase to it. So keep a lookout on Discord and on Twitter for how you can vote and continue to be a part of ultimately choosing the winner. Gears is in here in the chat, as I see his profile there. Bernie mentioned Comic 7, so that's pretty quick. Pretty soon you'll be seeing potentially your own breaker in the story. We've already seen a few, Eddie, for example, and Kane already show up in the webcomic. If you're unfamiliar with what we're talking about there, it's duskbreakers.gg/comic. Already several chapters, looking for the next one possibly later today. So really cool, the progress that we've seen there. It did take months for us to really kick that off, and now finally we've got it in place and growing. And you can go back and see references, in chapter 4 back to chapter 1 and so on. So that's going to just continue to grow and evolve. A nice, interesting part of the project that doesn't take a bunch of game designers, which is the other big offering that I think Jason will tell us more about. That's pretty much all I've got for the contest reminder now. Jason, are you ready to speak about whatever's next?
What am I going to speak out on?
Either roadmap updates or number 4 on this document, which I'm not sure if it's ready, so I didn't say it.
Let me see. Let me go. I had it in front of me, and then now I don't, and now
I don't think it's dangerous. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to spoil the whole thing, but coming on Monday, we're going to have a new. We're going to try something new out. We have some concept art that we're going to start releasing slowly, as long as Gears is the supplier. I'm just the dealer. We're going to try to get some concept art out there, and in a particular case, we have something coming out where we're going to actually we're going to put a poll out to the community to have the community help us name this particular thing, and so you see that coming on Monday, and we might do some more things of that nature, do some more feedback, and so here's a segue. Speaking of feedback, roadmap. So we have 2 things that we want to put down. So put down or grab your pencils and go to your calendars. July 29th is slated to be the early access playtest of our upcoming minigame. We will. The idea is to launch this to holders. So July 29th, we're finishing all the little tech stuff on there to make sure it's for our holders. And we'll be able to play it for approximately a week, and then we'll, Julia and others will put out there a forum for feedback, so that you can tell us about your experience, bugs, etc. All leading up to August 19th. August 19th is currently slated to be Mint Day. So Mint Day, new minigame. A couple of other new experiences that I won't name here because we haven't named them yet. But a bunch of the stuff will drop then on August 19th. That'll also be, again, a whole points thing that we'll go into pretty soon as well here. Why, what's the reason that we're going to play the minigame and do all these things for the second collection NFT? Well, there'll be a reason, and we'll be getting there really, really soon. So amongst these little nuggets that we're dropping, well, I'll drop right now, is we have a bunch of little teasers and spoilers coming soon, so that you can start to guess what we're doing and follow along with the stories, because we've dropped some of this stuff already. With the webcomic and other pieces that Bernie and the content team have put together are arcing into where all this is going here in the near term, plus just on and on and on. So, we're being very thoughtful about how we tell the story, how we build our tech, and deliver some great experiences here. So July 29th for early access playtest, August 19th for the mint date. How about that?
Cool.
Dang. I didn't even know we were going to say. I'm kidding. Very exciting. Dates. It's big when you actually have dates, right?
True.
whether it's
hopefully
dates
that will,
or actual dates.
yeah, hopefully that will satisfy our eager holders who've been very patient all year long, 2022. Obviously, our dates have continued to move, but we are continuing to grow and improve the product as well. So Jason was sampling it just at the beginning of this call, but I think you're all going to enjoy, the improvements that you see in the minigame for sure. And I hope that you'll like the NFT collection. Still, even that will have mysterious, aspects to it. So all very exciting. Slowly building and revealing all of this stuff is really fun.
Yeah, I want to add. Sorry, Bernie. I want to add that that a big part of this is, where you can imagine that there's a bunch of different teams working towards the same due dates here. The same delivery date, and it's going to be. I feel really impressed by what folks have been working on and what this is leading to, because this isn't just like you're dropping a thing and that's kind of it. This is definitely a bunch of different projects coming together to tell a very connected story, and that will eventually then have an even bigger, I would say, not say finish, but even a bigger moment coming this fall when this all leads to our full experience multiplayer game, and plus, again, like I've hinted before at these NFTs. The second collection being eventually a game asset, that you'll use these, you'll interact with these experiences that we've created to bring these second collection NFTs from the starting point to a later point, and within all of that is just we're excited to see how everybody takes these new experiences into their hands and uses them. Interacts with a bunch of different things that we've created, and have even more stuff coming on the horizon. We've seen a few mini games. We have the multiplayer game up ahead, and again, all this stuff ties together. And the fact that this will all be here in a matter of months will be really, I think, impressive, and hopefully you'll all see that as well.
Awesome. Just to reiterate, and we'll repeat this as we go. So the big date, 2 dates really, but the real big date is August 19th. That's the second collection. That's mint of if you're a Genesis holder, if you're a Allow List holder, which I'm sure pretty much everybody's listening to this probably is. If you're not, submit to the contest and get on that list. It's pretty easy. Play to Mint also starts then too with the new minigame, which if you want early access, you can see it on the 29th, but that's when that starts. And there's 2 other experiences that we've not revealed yet that are coming along with those, which are not a mini game, and it is not minting. So those will all come at once. And to kind of reiterate Jason's point of the complexity of this is that all of these will have to work together. So the collection is when that drops, you have it. You're going to affect your token as your NFT by doing the other things. So everything has to work together. And as Jason mentioned, there are multiple teams, gaming, tech, tokens, writing, lore, all these things have to work together and synergize all at once. So it makes it really complex, but I mean, that's the goal here, right? Is to synergize everything. You've heard me talk about franchise design and having it be kind of all at once. So we're that's the goal. We're having August 19th as this big date, and having all this come together. So kind of seeing it from behind the curtain about a lot here. I can say pretty confidently on August 19th, assuming everything launches together, there's gonna be a lot to do. There's gonna be a lot to do. I don't know if you think, what do you think of Jason and Joshy, but like when I see everything, all these things, I'm just like, you have a game, you have minting, you have 2 experiences on top of that. There's a lot to do that you get to have fun with at once. So we're excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited, and something that as we're moving into having more content to share, with game and other experiences, that means we're also going to be doing more widespread marketing. I mentioned kind of earlier that we have more help creating assets. And since we have some loyal listeners in here now, some game players and social media sharers, I want to thank all of you for helping spread the word up to this point. And that's, we're going to need more help coming up soon. So I do appreciate everyone using the, DuskBreakers profile pictures. And whenever we post stuff like the lore for a trait on social media, you posting your NFT that has that trait is really great. Sharing these contests really helps us, have visibility, because it's just us. Otherwise, it's just a handful of individuals. So our community, some of you have been around for months and months and have not even batted an eye because you're still sticking with us. And I think we're going to be very happy to be able to finally reward all of you and make it easy to share and continue to bring your friends in and things like that. So more the merrier as we continue on here. And I am excited for us to finally start, playing something again. The mini games that we had, months ago really were built by just a handful of people in a short amount of time. So I'm excited to ramp it up and get some content moving here.
As we are all. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the AMA chat on Discord. Raise your hands here if you want. I'll bring you up on stage. All good. And happy to answer them. A couple other, just to kind of, I do see a question about Comic-Con on the Discord, so I'm just going to answer that. I don't think any of us are planning to go to Comic-Con, which San Diego Comic-Con, those of you who, when they call it the Comic-Con, like what is one of that one? That's San Diego Comic-Con. I think that's next Friday, or next week, if I know correct, if my dates are right. But we will be at NFT Expoverse in LA. I'm speaking on a panel on the 31st about gaming and the metaverse and NFTs. So if you're in LA on the weekend of the 29th to the 31st, I'll be there. Joshi will be around too. And so if anybody, we can take this to Discord. You want to meet up, do a little meetup. Pretty casual. I don't know how big or attended NFT Expoverse is in LA, but if you're around, would love to see you. And we love meeting you guys in person. We loved seeing you, those of you who went to New York, and we're at NFT NYC, our little event there that the three of us were all at. To me, it was the highlight of the whole trip, personally. But I throw it to Joshi and Jason if you want to add to that. Those things.
I just wanted to say, though, we will promote your specific, panel closer to the event. So if NFT Expoverse provides us any assets or whatever, we'll share what Bernie's actually talking about and see if we can get any snippets or recordings or whatever as well. It is cool to have that honor to speak on panels still. So
yes, of course.
Yeah, and you're going to Europe too. You tweeted and we shared that.
Oh yes. Yes, that one's way down the road. Well, way down the road in like 60 days. But we'll be speaking at NFT Europe, I think that's what it's called specifically, and that's in Valencia, Spain. That's in September. So if you are in Valencia, Spain, and want to go to NFT Europe in September, come by. We'll love to meet you in Valencia, Spain. I have never been to Spain or Valencia, obviously. So it'll be all that. But it looks like some of you will use you as mentioned on the AMA chat that she's going to be at the event. So we'll put something small together. If a ton of you are there, we'll put something bigger together. But let us know if you're going to be in LA that weekend, and would love to see you. Cool.
Jason, anything else do you want to say before we move into just questions?
I'm not going to be anywhere.
Jason will never leave his home again. NFT NYC was it.
Yeah, no, that was the NFT NYC was so good. I'm never leaving home again. So I can never top that. There's a chance we'll be at TwitchCon in October, and then I'll probably tag along with Kevin to an event in Portugal in November, but that's down the road.
Yes, I think not committing us to TwitchCon, not committing us to TwitchCon, but given that we have so many Twitch ties, we have so much Twitch DNA in the company, makes a lot of sense that we would be we have a presence at TwitchCon. what we show at TwitchCon, who knows specifically at this point. It's in October, it's early October, so we'll be deep into this experience and not past it. We'll be in the next one. Super vague because I try not to spoil anything. So I'll say that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Our time horizon for some of the things that we're launching in the fall or after TwitchCon. So there's
or before TwitchCon, right? So
yeah, right. There's things that are before and things that are after. I think we're trying to spend the money the right way. In this market that we're in, we're trying to spend the money in the right way, and so we don't just want to like throw a big party and like it. There's nothing else to really do. As fun as parties are, again, trying to spend the money the right way, and so we it's likely that we go, but maybe more of in a networking capacity. And what's funny was one of the things we were talking about took me back a few years was thinking about back when like the old PAX, when PAX was called PAX in Seattle, when it used to be called PAX Prime before it was called PAX West, and you would go up there and Riot used to give away League of Legends skin codes.
I was there.
The old skin codes on cards. So that was we've been thinking about like refreshing ideas like that to give away things, but we'll see. We're trying to figure out some cool things if we go to do on a more like low key, find us somewhere type of level. So
there's a lot of cool stuff that can be done. So we're learning NFT NYC. I took a lot of pictures of the booths and things too to see what I like and don't like. So we're preparing.
Gears used to always do Artist Alley because he was a preeminent artist in the streamer community, but he said he's not going to do Artist Alley this year, and so we can just.
Were we sad about that?
I'm sad about that. I wanted to see Gears show everybody what he created, but he's being bashful.
We'll go in his stead and just set up a bunch of DuskBreakers concept art all over the place.
Awesome. Cool. Remember, any questions, throw them in the chat on AMA chat. Raise your hand on Discord. Raise your hand here. Happy to answer them. I guess while those come in, like aside from stuff we've talked about, like what are you excited for, Jason or Joshi? It's a general question, but hopefully related to what we're doing in the spaces.
For me, I mean, we haven't even really started yet. Like, this is still the fuse leading to the like dynamite, right? It's still, once we're at a level where we've got daily active users, right, playing games every day and having discussions about it, and trading a healthy amount and stuff like that. Like once we're up and breathing, I think I'm really excited because the fun of communicating is getting to show off all the cool stuff that the community is doing too. And we've been working our way up to that point, up until now and still for another month or so. But we're like still waiting for kickoff here with bated breath.
Yeah, I would say I'm excited about like how things are, these different, I sort of alluded to it earlier, like these different trains that are sort of like arriving at the same time. Everybody's on a different flight, but we're all going to the same place. And so I find that exciting. I find it differentiating to work on a project like this, and there be so many different. We have such investment in storytelling and in art and design. On a variety of levels that we're constantly thinking of how all these pieces intertwine, and not just like here's some not just it's usually not just like here's some art. Obviously, it's these things are all usually heading somewhere, and everyone's so serious. Serious when I say serious, I just like everybody takes their job seriously around the storytelling factor, and I think it leading up to where we're going here. And then that being a track for all of this being a learning for all of us to continue to do this with this franchise and potentially create other things. So kind of doing that while, making games, making all the media that, Bernie helps build, and we didn't mention him by name earlier, but we had Aaron started, and he's the one putting together. He put together the gallery video, and we can do more of those things. I'm with too spoilery, but like I'm in the process of actually hiring a director of marketing who will lead growth marketing, and so you can imagine then that my last point here would be that we're excited to look at getting to 10,000 players, users, and then going to 100,000 and going beyond that, and building out all of this, using all this content we're building to get to those levels, to bring all these people in, and then to focus, and then never losing focus of the holders and the people that have been in our community since the beginning. So it's so different than working on most other things these days. I think that's the difference in making a game in a Web3 space is, who your early people are, what their relationship is, and you can, continue to highlight those folks and then bring new folks in.
Nice. Good answer.
Well, that's here.
I know. We can do that. I'm kidding. So we have a question from Meet D. Lou, and I know he's battling some ill kids at the moment. So, what is something you wish you knew a month ago? Very general question for all of us, I guess. Aside from prices of coins and stuff, like, what is something you wish you knew a month ago? It's a good question.
I would have budgeted the NFT NYC time better, probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of like, wait, what do we do right now? What are we trying to do right now? Yeah.
Well, after seeing those panels and what they were, I think our time could have been better served. And also, each night there were parties to go to, and I didn't know which ones were going to be the best, but now I do.
Also true. Yeah, I think I would have been slightly more aggressive about making sure I got into certain installations. And what I mean by that is that the parties, I mean, parties are parties. Like, if you want to go to a party and that's your thing, awesome. I used to be that too. Like, I loved it. But I was really curious to see, if I could just like have gone to all the installations and just been able to just go during the middle of the day, every single one, and like looked at what they, see what they did, specifically each one. I think that would have been really, really cool. So yeah, that's me. Jason?
I have no regrets. No, I generally, I don't usually look back too far and reminisce too hard, other than to, see if anything went better. I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that, because I'm usually trying to, just look forward to what the next thing is to complete, and if anything, you're usually looking back to see what worked and didn't work. But I don't have an otherwise better answer than that right now.
Totally, all good. Go to the next question. Mikhail Kim, what's up? What's different about building Web3 games rather than Web 2? Interesting. Of course, none of the game design people are in here, but what's the difference? What do you think the difference is?
Well, one of the differences is we're also trying to, for example, when we get to the early access playtest, we want to be able to honor our holders, our Genesis holders, and so being able to create those sorts of hooks is something, and then seeing how that will that sort of like coding and those gating mechanisms might be used in the future, and then those considerations for the value that your holders have put in, and thinking about them from a short-term and long-term perspective, and everything that we'll do with this franchise is certainly different. When a lot of games, I think, you start off at, in traditional Web2 games, everybody starts off at zero, usually meaning like $0 spent, zero play time. You can't really anticipate, I guess you can build systems to be ready for those folks, but you're otherwise starting off at zero. You don't even know who your customer necessarily is yet. In this case, we definitely do, and we've been building, and then always keeping in mind, the things that we will do to make sure that holders feel like they're getting, they're being respected and highlighted in their, fidelity to our program. So I think that's a small difference among other things. So just little things that we talk about, I think, in other meetings too. Like we're building these things into the very first experiences. Like you generally don't do that in a normal game development environment. So we constantly throw things at the wall. Like what would you create a badge? Is there a badge system? Is there an achievement system for being a holder? You just consider those things and try to figure out how that is possible to be designed and displayed in various areas. Like, what are the small nuanced differences that you could build in from day one versus well down the road, or perhaps not at all. Like sometimes that's what happens is you go, great, this person has so much in Web 2, like somebody may have spent money, but you may not ever do anything for that person, because that's just the nature of the beast. Is like you just want to keep building, and hopefully you entice that person to continue to stay in the community and potentially spend. In our case, like we're actually much more interested in just having a good relationship, getting feedback, potentially offering differentiated experiences, different contest experiences than non-holders to some degree. Just small variables like that.
Nice. Go ahead.
I would say two big ones, just to kind of sum them up, and so I don't forget while I'm speaking, is the first one is interoperability, and the second one is customer base. So these are both big community things that I'm always focused on, and hope I can create some cool experiences. The first, interoperability, is something that Web 2 had no reason to do. Like Blizzard had no reason to play nice with Riot and make StarCraft 2 and League of Legends on the same client. There's the Epic Store and the Steam Store, and we've seen how Web 2 has built itself over the last 2 decades of basically people having high-speed internet and where we're at now. So they're more or less siloed. There are a few like oligopoly sort of deals at the top, but Web 3 gaming allows us to hang out with smaller creators left and right in whatever way we really feel like doing. So the fact that an NFT is really just a license with a skin on it lets someone like Gripnir, the D&D partners that we had, put a Duskbreaker into a D&D world, or Crypto Walkers put our Dusk Tech Rifle into their Unreal Engine game, or Arcade.inc showing a little teaser of what could be a Duskbreaker in their project. And, we can just as easily, we have cool artists, we have, they have artists that can give us stuff. We can build together, and that's not just other projects and games. I think it's personally very cool that if I hold one Duskbreakers Genesis NFT, that I could have a piece of 5, 10, 20 other game experiences just immediately. I think that's really cool. But the community, of course, can continue to build experiences as well down the road, help us vote, get played in these contests, be part of the story, stuff like that. So interoperability with other projects and with every customer essentially is pretty sweet. And then the customers, big number 2 point there is we have some different customer issues than Web 2. One is that we can't talk to all of our customers because they're just a MetaMask wallet. They could be in a country that we have no idea where they're at, anything like that. So the fact that every customer could be fully anonymous makes different challenges for sure. But also we have customers that are not gamers. That's an interesting part, because I doubt that there are very many prospectors who play CSGO only on the Steam marketplace and only trading an op when it's an opportune time, playing the market or collecting skins because they look cool, and they just never ever play CSGO. Or Counter-Strike is, the example. But in Duskbreakers world, we certainly can have someone just pick up 40, 50 Genesis NFTs and never play a game. They just, let them appreciate value or flip them at opportune times. They play the market. So the collector category really is something that Web 2 games don't often contend with. But yeah, those are just the two big ones off the top of my head that I'm always paying attention to.
Good answer. I see Kevin's up here. I know he's on, he's preoccupied with another thing, but if he wants to jump in, anytime you want to jump in, Kev, feel free. But I know you're busy, so if you can't, all good. But I do think there's some really interesting questions in the queue. Nice. 3, 2, cool. I will add that what Jason, what you said about kind of like the separation between holder and non-holder, right? It's like finding that balance of like, making sure you're honoring the holder, but also not making it that in order to enjoy a game, they need to, either get lucky, win a contest to win an NFT or throw down a considerable amount of money to play the game, right? Like finding that balance and making sure it's fun for everybody, but still being honoring the dedication of the holder is something where like, I think about a lot. So, transferring that to storytelling, I just go, okay, great, we can find ways to do this. So I mean, I think the Madlibs contest does benefit the holder, but anybody can submit. So finding that balance of that system is something we will keep trying to do, and keep trying to iterate on and make better. And then hopefully we'll eventually build systems on our site, our home site, so that we don't have to rely on a third-party system in order to manage it, so the experience is good. For example, having used Wufoo to do the Madlibs contest, as an example. It works. Is it the best? But it gets the job done. So anyway,
yeah. Just one last thing I'll say, just because you mentioned that, and I didn't remark that. But at the end of the day, like, our games are free to play, and that's also a great feeling that you can put something out there and people can just appreciate it for what it is, play it, never have to, to feel like they need to do that part. They need to spend. They can just enjoy it with friends, especially in the case of our multiplayer game coming up. And if they want to join in the holder fund, even better.
Awesome. What's next? I do not see a new question on Discord. Again, if anybody has a question, feel free to hop in and ask. Joshy, you want me to?
Dinner, is this just a suggestion? We could be doing dinner next.
You mean
if there are no more questions?
Actually eating, you mean? Okay, all right. I'm just like, you talking about the event at NFT Expoverse, or you gonna do a holder dinner? Like, okay, you're just saying, oh, let's just wrap this baby up. All right, cool. So, let's kind of move to the recap again. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat. But give us a recap, Joshy. What do we talk about?
Okay. Well, first we excused our guest, Kabunbun, for potentially, just not quite making it to our AMA today. But Ekaterina is a really cool service, so hopefully we can loop in Kabunbun again in the future. Thanks for everybody for showing up, expecting to talk to him, but getting just us instead. We appreciate everyone who came and listened live, and of course all of our listeners on YouTube as well. The webcomic, Bernie updated us that we may have a new issue any moment, so keep an eye out on Twitter and Discord for that announcement. The contest that's going on right now only takes a couple of minutes to enter. You'll get an allow list basically just for entering for our second collection, which we now know has a mint date of August 19th. So that's, just a month away. Get your foot in the door now. This is a very good opportune time to get into DuskBreakers if you haven't already. We talked about new polls next week for potentially having the community name some of our conceptual items in the DuskBreakers universe. So more community involvement there. Keep an eye out on the socials and Discord. The roadmap updates that Jason gave were really the meat of the AMA since we did not have a guest. The minigame early access playtest, July 29th is the date we have on the calendar now for holders only to be able to play it early, provide feedback, check out what we've got to offer just a little bit early. And then August 19th is the big day, mint day, along with several other features and new experiences. And basically it's our big tentpole event is August 19th. So August should be a big one. July we'll get teasers and concept art on the way up to the minigame early access playtest, and mint day, of course, more concrete details will be on the way. So tell your friends. We're finally ramping up. It's going to be good times ahead. But that's pretty much it.
Don't forget that the webcomic will be here very soon, and today, tomorrow, somewhere in that area. And keeping to our normal schedule, July 28th will be the next AMA. But the one on August 11th, we're starting to plan a live, moving this particular the show to Twitch to actually use our Twitch channel for a change. Because we think that we'll have a lot to show you there and want to put something together where we can do things more visually. And hopefully you all join us to ask questions there, be part of the fun, and see what we have in store, since we'll have a big show and tell. August 11th.
Mikhail Kim is saying you should play the minigame on Twitch. I'll say that will be highly likely. Like that will happen. Highly likely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So that's it for this AMA. For Chashi, Jason, Kevin, Gears, Julia, any other team members we got there. Great to have you all here. Can't wait for the next one. A lot of exciting stuff coming. Get into that contest. It's free. Get you on the allow list. Get your breaker canonized. Mainly because I want to see more entries too, just to see what y'all come up with. And we'll see you, or hear you, or you'll hear us next time on DuskBreakers AMA. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.